So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And welcome to the Success Blueprint. Today, I am excited to welcome Paul Bowen from Denver. Paul Paul is a retired philosopher professor who taught at Bond University and the University of Cincinnati, and he continues to explore philosophy today. We'll take about philosophy, education, politics, AI, society, success, and life, along with a few fun questions. Paul, welcome to the Success Blueprint. It's great to have you here. How are you, Paul?
I'm well, thank you. I hope you also are well.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad to be here.
so Paul, my first question is from you. What's first attached to you to philosophy? I can also write it on chat. Yeah, here is it your question. What
Okay,
first
good.
attached you to philosophy?
Yes, well, it was kind of an accident, really. I was a freshman in college, and I had usually all your courses are required. In those days, at least that's the way it was done. And when you were a freshman, you had all required courses, but I had made a requirement so that I got one choice of my own. So I looked at the possibilities, and one of the things I saw was philosophy. Well, I didn't really know what philosophy was, so but it sounded interesting, so I decided to take it. I think I thought maybe it was something like psychology, which it isn't. I mean, it's really different. And but so I took the course. But while I was taking the course, I liked it very much. And so I decided to take more courses in philosophy. And then I decided to major in philosophy and so on. And one thing led to another. After a long time, I got a doctorate in philosophy from Yale University. So
Yeah,
but the start of it was kind of an accident because I didn't know what philosophy was when I signed up for it. So that's my answer.
yeah. You said that is an accident to you that attach you from philosophy. That's decisions of God, Paul. My second question is
Oh
from
yes, I see. I'm 81 years old. I will be 82 in September.
wow, your age is too much like my grandfather has in your age 82 years. So you are
Mhm.
very fit and looking too much good, healthier. So Paul, my third question is from you. If you if you had to explain philosophy to a 15 years old is in one simple sentence, how would you explain it?
I think philosophy is trying to think very deeply about very important questions like what should I do with my life, or what is reality, uh, what is beauty, what should society be like, what makes one society better than another, and these are, or how do we know things if we do? I mean, do we really know things? I mean, yes, I think we do, but we have to start off with that question. So how do we know things? How do we go about knowing something? And another part of philosophy is logic, which talks about how do we infer one thing from another. Uh, we have certain beliefs and we infer other beliefs from them. Uh, What gives us the ability to do this? What justifies us in doing this? So those are kind of basic philosophical questions, and we try to answer them. They're the, they're not the sort of questions you would go to a laboratory to try to figure out. But we just try to figure them out by thinking about them, and that's the kind of questions philosophers ask, and I guess that defines what philosophy is. Is well, what kind of questions do we ask? So that's my answer. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Paul, can you tell us our audience where you from and so my next question is from you, Paul. What has the philosophy taught you about human nature?
Well, in a way, what human nature is is a question for anthropology. That's what anthropologists study. But I think the most important qualities of human nature are, first of all, that we're very intelligent compared to other life forms on Earth. Maybe that's about to change. Maybe Chat GTP is smarter than us, or the next one will be smarter than us. But so far, uh, so far we're apparently the smartest ones, and this has the effect that we are more flexible. Okay, if you have a cat and you shine a little laser pin at it, the cat will pounce on the laser, and it won't learn that this doesn't work. Right? It will keep on doing it. But human beings sometimes they actually learn something and they change their ways.
Yeah,
So we can do all these things that our ancestors couldn't have done because we can pass information on from one generation to the next. Cats are born cats. They don't learn really very much from their mothers and fathers. But human beings are very dependent on learning from previous generations. So this makes us very flexible. So I would say that those are some very, very important things about human nature. So that's my answer.
yeah, that's right, Paul. Um to pass our information to our next generation. So, Paul, my next question is from you. What did you enjoy most about being a professor?
Ah, I think the actual act of teaching was the thing I enjoyed the most. You you have a bunch of students. You talk about interesting things, and I like to talk about philosophy, and I think I do a fairly good job of teaching. At any rate, I liked it. I think some of the students liked it also. So this act, like I was just saying, we pass things on from one generation to the next, and that's what I was doing when I was teaching, or what I was trying to do, and that was my favorite part, I think, of the whole process. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Paul, my next question is from you. Um, One second.
No worry, no worry.
Paul, can you tell our audience to tell a student that can your favorite student or some best students in your journey?
Journey is. Well, I was born in Washington D.C., which is the capital of the USA. But I don't remember that. I was too young. But we moved. before I was old enough to remember. So my
Mm,
earliest memories are living in New York City, uh, in the USA, and my father was trying to earn a degree in history, which he did eventually. And so he was going to Columbia University, which is in New York. And so I remember that. That's where I did grade school, except for 2 years where we went to Europe so that my father could do research in Europe. But other than that, I went to elementary school in New York City. And then we moved around a bit. It took a while before my father got tenure, which means before his job is steady and he's guaranteed to have it. And so I finally graduated from high school in DeKalb, Illinois. Illinois is a Midwestern state of the United States. And we spent many summers in the state of Vermont, which is where my parents were from. And that was interesting because that was out in the country, whereas New York City, of course, is all city. And so then from there, it gets a little complicated because sometimes I was in school and sometimes I was not in school. But I eventually got a degree in philosophy, uh, first a bachelor's from Northern Illinois University and then a master's, and then finally I got a doctorate from Yale University, and I taught philosophy at Brown University and the University of Cincinnati. And I also taught for a while in a high school, well, a K through 12 school called the Schilling School for Gifted Children. So I taught many subjects there. And then I retired. I'm retired now. And we have moved to Denver so that we can be near my daughter and her two children. So I'm married with one wife, uh, two children, and two grandchildren. So we moved here so that we could be with my daughter and her children. My son, Richard, is not here. He works in New York City, but he visits us from time to time. So here I am, and I'm still trying to do philosophy. I write essays and I post them. I post things on my Facebook, which have to do with philosophy. And I'm also starting to put my essays on Substack. So I'm still a philosopher, even though I am retired from teaching. So I guess that's my journey.
yeah. So, all my next question from you. What the weather of Denver, hot or cold?
Well, recently it's been very hot. Um, and it's a pretty mild climate. There is winter. There are the usual seasons for a temperate climate: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Sometimes we have snow in the winter. It's a semi-arid climate, so we don't get a lot of snow or rain, but enough for some planets to grow. So sometimes it's hot. Recently, it got up to over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it it gets cold. It goes below freezing sometimes in the winter, but on the whole, the weather is wonderful. It's just you go outside and it's a sunny day, hardly ever rains, and so that's what the weather is like here. That's my answer.
Yeah. So, Paul, my also question is the weather is too hot because of global warming. What do you think about on this topic?
Well, I'm a believer in global warming, and yes, it is has been more hot than usual over this summer
Yeah,
here, and I think global warming is responsible for that. And we really, the world really needs to get busy and deal with this problem. Some people refuse to believe in it, and that's holding us back from being able to do something about it. And that's very, very unfortunate because it's reaching the point point of no return where it will really be a terrible disaster. We need to do something about it very quickly, in my opinion. So that's my answer. Yes.
yeah. You say right to action quickly on this topic because this is very serious topic about humans' lives, and so many animals are evaporate because global warming. So, Paul, my next question is from you. Do schools focus too much on monetization and not enough on thinking?
I think that often happens. I'd go so far as to say that usually happens. I mean, I don't know what schools are like all over the world, but certainly in the United States, and we do too much on memorization, and it's especially silly now since you can uh, just go to the internet to get information. You don't have to carry all that information in your head uh,
Yeah,
the way we used to. My head, of course, I have been around for 81 years, and I carry a lot of information in my head, uh, like how to spell English words. What a ridiculous system! It makes no sense how we spell English words. You just have to memorize them one by one to a great extent. But uh, but I think yes, we should teach thinking more. We should teach logic, and I think philosophy, as I said before, philosophy is thinking about things.
yeah, that's right.
And so I think it'd be great if we had more philosophy in the educational system, and emphasize this. I remember once I was teaching at a place at the University of Cincinnati, and some of my colleagues were giving multiple choice tests. And this was very easy to grade because the students just made marks on a form, and then they would put the form into the machine, and it would go, and then you would have a grade for every student, right? But I refused to do that. I made them write essays in a book, and then I had to, of course, go over all these essays and comment on them. But I think that's the way philosophy should be taught. And where the grades should come from, you should not use multiple choice tests. That's a misunderstanding, in my opinion, of what philosophy is supposed to be. But I think in general you shouldn't use too much multiple choice tests. Because the student doesn't have to think; they just have to remember certain things. And so yes, they do focus too much on memorization and not enough about thinking. That's my answer.
Yeah. So, Paul, my next question is from you. What is one common mistake students make when they learning?
That's a very interesting question. Thank you. What is one common mistake? Well, of course, that's one mistake right there. They think that learning is just a matter of memorizing a lot of things. Uh, but also, you need to learn what questions to ask. If you don't ask the right questions, then you can use chat gpt or some computer, but if the question you ask is not a good question, you won't get good information, right? And so I think the philosopher Plato is famous, and I think it's because uh, he asked very good questions. Now, I don't think his answers were very good, but he's important. He's famous because he asked the right questions, and so the skill of asking the right questions is very important. I mean, I could stand here and I could say, "Is one equal to one?" Yes. Is two equal to two? Yes. Is three equal to three? Well, I can ask lots of questions. There's no end to those questions, but it'd be silly to ask those questions because the answer is too easy and it has no significance. On the other hand,
Yeah,
if you ask questions like, what should we do? Now, that's the most important question. We're always asking ourselves, or at least answering this question, what should I do? Uh, so that's a question really worth thinking deeply about. So I think students make this mistake of thinking that learning is just a matter of having answers to questions, but they also need to know what questions to ask. So that's my answer. Thank you.
thank you. So, Paul, my next question is from you. You are retired now. Has retirement changed your view of work?
That in a way it has, yes, because I haven't stopped working. I still work, but I do what I want. That's the important difference between working for money and working because you love to work. So in retirement, I still seem to have, oh, I have not enough time. I don't have enough time to do everything. Uh, but that's the way it is. I will find things to do, even if I don't have to do them. And so my work now is just what I feel like doing. And I think it would be wonderful if that could be true also of people who are not retired. That is, people people should do the work that they love, and and I think we could do a lot better with that. We could do a lot better uh, with finding work for people that they love, and if they love it, they'll be good at it, almost certainly. So uh, I now feel that the work is what I want to do. It's it, it's not so different from play, really, uh,
Yeah.
because I don't have to do it. I just choose to do it. So that's my answer.
So, thank you, Paul. I have one last question from you. That can I really to write this question like a professor for a teacher. That was some funny questions. So after all those years of philosophy, what is one question you still refuse to answer?
I like that question. That's a different kind of question. See, I was just saying it's important to ask good questions. Well, I think that's a good question. And one question I refuse to answer is if you ask me is, what is consciousness? And
Conscious.
I don't understand consciousness. I mean, I know a lot of things about it, but if you, what is it really? I don't know the answer to that question. It bothers me because it's a very important question, but I have to admit, every time I try to give an answer to this question, I say, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I'm still looking for an answer to this question. And in the meantime, I guess I just have to refuse to answer it because I don't know. So that's my answer to your question.
Yeah. So Paul, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your ideas and experience. We discussed philosophy, education, success, and much more. I really enjoyed hearing your perspectives, and Thank you everyone for watching the Success Blueprint. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep going. Have a wonderful day, Paul.
Well, thank you. It was a great honor to be here. Thank you for having me, and have a wonderful day yourself. Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.